here. Thank you for checking this video out. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you. So it's the beginning of 2021, which is obviously a new year, and even though things are still very much similar to what we experienced in 2020, certain things are changing. For an example, you may be going to university and trying to figure out which varsity to pick from your options. So today I want to talk about 5 things that I think you should definitely consider when picking a varsity. Obviously, money isn't everything, but it matters. It matters especially if you do not have NSFAS or any bursary or scholarship or any form of funding. Obviously, universities do try to assist in this area. So talk to your SSC, talk to your financial department in universities you're considering if you find yourself considering not going to university because of finances. University accommodation is very expensive. In most cases, it's the same than tuition, if not more. So obviously this is quite different. For some people, you may be able to stay at home for maybe the entire semester one. We don't know what we're heading into, but it doesn't look good, at least from where we are. So this might not be exactly applicable, but remember, obviously in the second year onwards, you will need to move. So I'll be comparing your VETS and UCT in this way, is that obviously in terms of tuition, they're very similar. So there isn't a lot of differences there. But in terms of accommodation, I find Cape Town to be relatively more expensive than Joburg. Obviously, Bram is not cheap, but at the same time, Bram has a variation of like accommodation where you can really have a spend to, okay, what can I afford? And also Joburg just happens to be, I don't know, there's more diverse options in terms of accommodation. So you can really get a 10,000 apartment if you have the money, but also you can get a 1-bedroom like student accommodation for like maybe 4 point something, but also you can get some that are sitting at 3.5. And if you're willing to move away from the centers of your university, and because you maybe can't afford that, you can even get accommodation in neighboring areas for like 2,000. So I find that Joburg has more options than Cape Town. Another thing is obviously food, because you need to eat, right? In terms of food, yes, in Joburg you can have food being expensive to any degree, but also you can have an option of getting food from really good, even chain grocery stores that are located maybe in somewhat of what we call shady areas, versus them being in malls and stuff like that, or being in malls that are not around like super expensive neighborhoods. So I find that Joburg is better in terms of variety. Location. So comparing again, UCT, VETS, we all know UCT wins this one. I mean, the mountains, the accessibility to the sea, it's right there. It's culture. So every institute has culture. So for an example, I find that VETS has more of, even though VETS is diverse, it also has this monotone. It's also a bit monotone in terms of culture. Like as far as how that is categorized in experience and in just, yeah. So I find that Cape Town is relatively more diverse than Joburg, specifically VETS and UCT. So UCT has a good has a good number of international students than VETS has. So if you're looking for like big experience other than just experience that maybe you already had as a local in this country, UCT may just win this one. Post degree. So obviously if you want to have your 3-year, 4-year degree, you may choose to be employed, you may choose to get into research. So let's first take the first option, which is choosing to be employed. That means you want to go to corporate in any industry or field that you're actually being trained to work at. I'm using VETS and UCT, and locally I mean in the country, they have pretty much compatible reputation. So I don't think there'll be a huge difference in terms of employees, as whether they'll employ you from VETS or UCT. That the two universities itself are really considered to be somewhat in the same level in the country. But if you're looking for international employment, I would say UCT is more internationally established than VETS. But again, it depends on what field, because that also matters. But I find that because UCT has more international students, I find even UCT has more like integrated post degrees with international universities that I find VETS has. So obviously look more into it, but like in terms of employment and corporate in the country, they're pretty much in the same level. But like I think internationally, I do think that people do sort of have a more attraction towards UCT than they do VETS. So the second thing is obviously research. Research matters if you want to go into research, into your honors, into your master's, your PhD, and probably integrate it with international, whatever the case is. So here, that what matters is obviously going through, I think ResearchGate is a good one locally in the country. If you go through ResearchGate or Google Scholar, I think that will give you a good idea of researchers in the field that you're interested in the country, and you can sort of like look at their research portfolios. You can look at, okay, is that something that you'll be more interested, like if for example you're looking at the school of, I don't know, if you're looking at entire mathematical sciences in general, and you have a specific field that you want to do research in, that you're fascinated by, you may be, if you're comparing the two universities, you may find that there's more produced research on that area in that university than other universities, so you want to pick according to that. So, but also just in terms of local research, VETS and UCT are pretty much, but even though VETS is obviously turning more into a research institute, obviously over time, not obviously overnight, but like, yeah, so look at the specific of your field, go to ResearchGate, go to Google Scholar, look at the authors. You can go to the staff directory. There you get their links of information that will basically take you to their research and what they're interested in, and that can sort of gauge or give you a spectrum of which university would most likely fit your research interest. The curriculum. So I know, like in terms of wording, it may be a BC in math or BC in applied math, in that it adverts in UCT, and it feels like it's the same thing. But remember, these courses actually have modules in them, and these may be different depending on which university you go to. But again, it may change. By the year you're like in the second year, the other university may have a better curriculum by then. So it's not a stationary thing, but it's something that I think you should definitely consider. For example, I remember when I got offered for, and one of the courses I wanted to do was applied math. I was like, UCT one only has applied math, the first one has computation and applied math. I was so like, because I was judging on how it was actually termed, but actually when you're sitting down and looking at the curriculum, they're offering pretty much the same thing. So don't just look at the name, download the actual syllabus for the faculty you're interested in, go to the school, go to your course, compare those courses before picking a university that you're interested in. There you have it, guys, 5 things that I think you should definitely consider before picking a university. I hope you have a great time. I hope you're safe wherever you are, and if you're studying university, welcome to the club. Enjoy. It's a ride, but enjoy, man. I'll see you guys some other time. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing down below, giving this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys some other time. Bye.